Right, so now the Aston Martin's all primed. We thought we'd get the wheel box out and have a look, so we needed to get it out anyway to release the rear bumper. And yeah, we've noticed there's a load of corrosion on the inside, a single skin on part of the wheel arch, where the corrosion was on the outside. The patch is a lot bigger on the inside, so see if I can show you. So we've wheeled it out with a roll-up wheel, the plastic bristle wheel as much as we could, and then 180 grit sandpaper as far as we could get. It does go a bit further up there, and then on this side as well, it's yeah, down there by where the sill meets. So we've sanded all that out as best we could, as far as we could reach. So now I'm just going to put some corrosion treatment on there, the Meeper one that I showed earlier. Put a couple of coats of that on. That should sort of hold it off a bit, and then I'm just going to mix up some 2-pack epoxy in black, and I'm going to brush a couple of coats in there. It'll be okay to brush it. Put a couple of thick coats on, let that cure off, and then I'll probably put a bit of spray sealer over it. So I'll get this treatment done on the inner arch, and then I can start prepping it then for paint. I've blown this out and degreased it. Right, I'll let that cure, and I'll give it another coat. It's a shame. You'd have thought from factory they've got sealer from the outer skin to the inner skin in there, but there's barely any paint in there at all. No sealer, no brush sealer or spray sealer. You know, it wouldn't take a lot of effort to even just to have, you know, the sealer work in it it's not neat. You know, being all aluminium, it's just so easy for aluminium to corrode. It only needs a little pinprick in the paint, or not enough paint, and it spreads like mad. So yeah, it wouldn't have took a lot to just have, you know, another process just to have some spray sealer put up in this arch. Go to all the effort making a lightweight body and the whole body out of aluminium, and then fail on the protection of it. But we've checked the other side, and the other side looks all okay. But yeah, corrosion's got a funny way of spreading, a bit different to rust. I wouldn't know the technical way of how it spreads. All I know is it spreads quite fast once it starts. But it takes a while for it to actually eat through. So yeah, I'll let that cure off and give it another coat, and then I'll get some epoxy on it. Right, so I'm just going to brush some epoxy in here. And that can dry overnight. Right, so I'm going to start prepping the Aston now. First thing I'm going to do is guide coat it, then I'm going to block it with 320 on the block. These are good. They're called sanding cloths, they're called 3M. They do, I think it's 320 grits the coarsest, up to 1,000 grit, maybe, might be 1,200, I think 1,000. So they last forever. They've got like a rubberized back, and they're really good. And they come, you can buy a little soft block for them as well. So really soft on one side and a bit more rigid on the other side. But they're great for like sanding primer on bumpers, getting in all little nooks and crannies. Like I say, they're really grippy on the back, and they're good, but they're really expensive. But they do last a long time. You don't have to use them on everything, so they're good for a certain purpose. Prep the blend areas now. 800 DA and 1,000 grit soft pad, grey Scotch. Aston's all prepped, it's in the booth now, so I'm going to start masking it up I've done the epoxy underneath the wheel arch, but I didn't put any spray sealer on it yet. I'm going to do it after it's painted. I know it doesn't quite make sense, but I can't get it. It takes a while to dry, and I won't be able to get the tape to stick up in the arch. So I'll do it after. I'll just put a little bit of masking tape over the painted bit of the arch and spray some sealer in there before we put the wheel box back in there. Yeah, we've decided we're blending the bumper. I've probably got enough room here to blend on the quarter. The colour's not great. The Spectro, can't pick it up. It really struggles, the Spectro, to identify the size of metallic and the size of ceramic. So it's got a yellowy, bluey tinge to this car. Really coarse metallic, like the coarsest one on the system. So I sprayed it out so we never had a chip for it. And the metallic looks right, and there's a little bit of gold ceramic in there and a little bit of white ceramic in there, and then the rest of it is just like special white, a little bit of normal white and a little bit of yellow oxide. So the metallic looks right on the colour. When I put the Spectro on it, it picks up some, if I cross-reference it against Aston Martin, it picks up like a what was it called? Nemo blue, it was called, which is a metallic blue. So that it picks up colour, see, more than effect. So yeah, and it said it was miles out from that, which it would be because it's not even Nemo blue. So I'm a bit stuffed on the Spectro. Pretty much blending everywhere, and it is blendable. These two panels definitely been painted before. There's a bit of colour variation on the boot to the quarter before I prepped it, so we'll keep that colour variation there, hopefully. I did have a little go at dropping a tiny little bit of blue into it. That's the thing that's wrong with it. The spray out just hasn't got like a blue flop to it. There's no blue in the mix, in the ingredients. So I knew it was going to be a nightmare. So far on my channel, all the videos I've put up, every colour's been a nightmare, which is it's always a challenge anyway. Well, I did paint a black bumper earlier, so that was a bit of a relief to do something straightforward and black. But yeah, I'm blending everywhere, so yeah, I'm just going to go. I'll have to go with that mix that's on the system, I think, and blend it as best I can. That's pretty much all I can do, really. I am tempted to drop tiny little bit of Tintin blue in there. I did try a little bit. I pulled a little bit of paint out, 50 grams, and dropped a bit of medium blue in there, and it just completely threw it. But yeah, it's a funny colour. Yeah, really blue on the flop, and then sort of goldy with the light hitting it at a 45-degree angle, but we'll see. Right, I'm going to get cracking and masking it up. having a bit of a nightmare. I put one coat on the Aston, but I put the blender all over it, and it went on all right. There was no problems. And then put the first coat on. That was like a half coat, so I didn't really pay much attention because it was just a quick coat. Then went to put the first wet coat on because this is going to have 4 coats where it's so transparent. And the flow was restricted. I thought my gun was blocked, so I stopped, checked the little hole on the little pop-up top on the RPS cups to see if that was blocked. Poked it through, tried again. It initially flow come out and then it stopped again, restricted the flow. So I've worked it out. I swapped another pot over, thinking maybe I have defective filter because I've mixed the paint yesterday. And it done it again. Cleaned all my gun out, it done it again. So I realised the whole bulk of the ingredients is very coarse metallic, and it's not going through the strainer. So now I've had to decant it, try and get it through a lesser strainer, a 190 micron instead. And I think it's working now, but there might be a risk of any sort of lumps coming through. But here we go, let's carry on. considering the colour wasn't great, and it's the coarseness of the aluminium, coarseness of the metallic, and where I've had to blend everywhere into this roof here, blend down the back of this quarter to try and keep the colour away from the boot lid, and into this bumper, it's gone in alright. Like I say, I had a nightmare with the aluminium. Was so coarse it wouldn't go through the filter in the RPS cup. So I had to try and filter it with a 190 micron instead of a 125 micron in the RPS cups. I had to filter it. With something, because I'd have just used the BaseCoat unfiltered, I'd have had all sorts of lumps coming through. I know I would. But yeah, a bit of a nightmare job. A couple of big rocks in it, but pretty clean apart from them rocks. A tiny little bit of a dry patch where I'm too small, I can't reach. Now I've run out of lacquer on this pillar, but I'll quickly mix them up and that's gone in alright. So it's not too bad. It's got to be flat and polished all over anyway now, because they are flat and polished from factory, so they're not really a gun finish. They're sort of in between. They're not glass, but they're definitely a bit flatter than that. So, but the orange peel's quite flat. It's drawn in a little bit because it's quite aggressive, coarse aluminium, and yeah, it took 4 coats to cover as well. It was quite transparent. So yeah, but that flat down nice, flat and polish. Probably just do it with a machine, but not bad for a Friday afternoon job.